Forward to that, Vicky Vic, that is. But for now, though, he's a sports minister on radio, the only one that I know. Okay, so let's not mix it up. Right, stepping out of the studio right there, sportsmanly, showing sportsmanship, Vicky Vic, that is. But then, yes, we get into a conversation because this is the time to go talking politics and current affairs. By the way, my name is Udwak Daniel. It is 5 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side, and you have found Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Keep in mind that we give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. All right, and then spread the Eagles wings across social media platforms where we have a strong presence. That will be on Facebook and YouTube at Eagles FM Abuja. So when you type the Eagles, don't put an apostrophe before the S, just type it Eagles, all right, without no apostrophes, and FM, then Abuja. Okay, so you get straight to it. What are we talking this time? I mean, there's no way we can talk politics and current affairs. There's no way we can talk Nigeria if we don't talk on the economy. I mean, the economy has been the bane of it all. When we look at everything that we know politics entails, you'd get to understand that it's about decision making, it's about appropriation, it's about alignment, right? In that regard, we should be looking at something that borders around the foreign inflows rising by 53%, right? What is the significance of the 53% rise in foreign inflows, and how will it impact the Nigerian economy? As a background to the discourse this morning now, it is noteworthy to put it out there that Nigeria's economy has indeed gone through the hassles, the hustles, the bustles, the thick and the thins, right? And we're experiencing a surge now in foreign investment inflows. That's right. Now, with a 53% increase in the second quarter of 2024, the rise is attributed to the growing interest of foreign investors in the country's economy. All right, that's something good. I mean, the Nigerian economy is already gaining traction from foreign investors as it stands. It does mean that the Tinubu-led administration, in terms of looking into the economy and also appreciating the efforts of Wale Adun and also all of those who are involved in this processes, well done work, because as it stands now, it doesn't seem as though Nigeria is in the dark or totally a dark country. No, it does seem that there is prospect and there's light at the end of the tunnel. Now, the Nigeria government has been implementing policies to attract foreign investment. I mean, including the introduction of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, that is the NIPC, and the creation of special economic, zones right now. However, the country still faces challenges such as corruption, infrastructure deficits, regulatory bottlenecks that may deter foreign investors. So it goes on to also the place of foreign investment in Nigeria, dating back to the 1960s, when the country first opened up. I mean, sometime in 1960, that's when we first opened up, to foreign investment. Ever since then, though, the country has experienced periods of high and low foreign investment. Yes, ever since the 1960s, right? We've experienced, periods of high and low foreign investment inflows, and that is dependent on various factors, such as government policies, factors that border around economic conditions, factors that border around global events as well. I mean, in recent years, though, Nigeria government has been working working to improve the business environment and attract, more foreign investment, including the introduction of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, that is the ERGP, and the creation of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, right? They call that one the PEBEC, right? And it brings us to asking a pertinent question. I mean, we have had all of these creations going on, right? But then, what are the key factors that have contributed to the rise of foreign inflows? And how can the Nigerian government indeed build on these successes, right? These are some very key and pertinent, questions, to ask in this regard. But then, let me also put it out there that the foreign investment inflows into Nigeria rose by 53% in the second quarter of 2024, with a total of 2.6 billion US dollars. Right? So it rose by 53%. 53 in the second quarter of 2024, and there was a total of 2.6 billion US dollars. 2.6 billion US dollars. Now, the capital importation profile in 2024 of quarter two was largely driven by foreign portfolio, right? Investment. That's talking about the FPI, foreign portfolio investments. And that accounted for 41% of the overall 41% of the overall investment inflows and 77% of the total FPI that's inflows. Yeah. Now, however, though, all components of foreign investments declined in the quarter, with foreign direct investment FDI recording the most significant drop. Now, the decline in FDI is attributed to divestments, right? And in the oil and gas manufacturing sectors, and of course, foreign exchange markets, illiquidity, insecurity, regulatory bottlenecks, and all of that. All of these, were attributed to divestment. But then, could there be implications of the decline in FDI, and how can the Nigerian government, address these concerns of foreign investors to attract more FDIs? Okay. Now, there has been some thoughts, that has gone on from the place of, could this 53% rise in foreign inflows also be attributed to the recent rebasing of the Nigerian economy? If you recall, some time ago, there was talks about the federal government making a move into rebasing the Nigerian economy and seeing how we can draw up, almost every from the informal, sector, certain economic growth indexes or indices to allow for a beautification of our economy and to allow for foreign investors to also be a part of the Nigerian economy. But then, let's get on to looking at this particular one now. I mean, the rise in foreign inflows has had a significant impact on the lives of Nigerians, especially those in businesses and within the business community. For example, now, I give you an example of a Nigerian entrepreneur who owns a small business in Abuja, right? And he has seen an increase in demand for his products due to the rise in foreign investments, right? And he's been hailing the government's effort. I mean, having had a discourse with him just yesterday as we got in talking about this, he had said, well, there has been some increment in terms of, how his business is being perceived, growth and all of that, especially due to the rise in foreign investment. Even though he has also mentioned the fact that there are also other factors such as power, such as, the foreign exchange market and all, taken a toll, one way or the other on, his business. But then again, is that for some reason he has seen that there is also some sort of increment, some sort of facelift for his business. Now, he's been able to expand his business, he's been able to create more jobs, and according to him now, it has had a positive impact on his community. However, he also faces the challenges such as accessing foreign exchange and dealing with regulatory bottlenecks. And it brings us to what are the personal stories of Nigerians who have been in fact impacted by the rise in foreign inflows, and how have they benefited or been challenged by this particular trend. So this personal story of foreign investment in Nigeria is one of opportunity and of course one of challenge as well. And on the one hand, though, you might want to think of it, from this angle. Foreign investment has created jobs and driven economic growth. But on the other hand, it has also created challenges such as corruption and regulatory bottlenecks. So it brings us to the place of what's human impact and personal stories of foreign investment in Nigeria now. Can government, address these challenges, especially looking at foreign investors to attracting more foreign investments? But we have our guest already who's joining us via phone call, Mr. Adefolari Olamilekon. He's a political economist, a communication expert and consultant, lead research and policy analyst. A very good morning to you, Sir Adefolari Olamilekon.
Good morning to you, Uduaka, and good morning to all our listeners out there.
Right. Well, 53% inflow is what we have had now. By our foreign inflows has risen by 53%, and based on a personal story of an Abuja businessman who has said, well, he has gotten some very good impact on his business, but then again he has decried the challenges that has also brought along, such as accessing foreign exchange, dealing with regulatory bottlenecks and all of that. But then Nigerians is also asking questions such as, could this inflow, right, foreign exchange inflow, could it also be attributed to the recent rebasing of the economy? But you might want to open up this 53% inflow for us and help us have a better understanding of the impact this would have on Nigerians.
I think they are quite foreign inflow are quite very simple to understand, and I will also simplify it in a way that our listener can really understand the intrigue, the buy-in, and other attributes of what foreign inflow is. Now, when we talk about foreign inflow, we are talking about the money that foreign currency, particularly dollar, that come into Nigerian economy, either in hard currency or in soft currency. When we say hard currency, we are talking about maybe money that the government borrowed, or money that comes to investors into the Nigerian stock market or equity market or Nigerian capital market, or money that comes into the Nigerian economy in a way of bonds, whereby people come into Nigeria to come and buy federal government bonds or private company bonds, that means their shares, or foreign inflow that comes in the form of foreign direct investment in terms of money that somebody brought in from us to come and invest in Nigeria. This is what we call foreign flow. So they are in like 4 categories. We can define them in the form of loan that the government receives. You can also define them in the form of receipt of sales of crude oil that the federal government receives. Or you can also define them in the form of the inflow that comes to investors that come into Nigeria. And as I earlier mentioned, capital market and stock market, equity market, talking about shares of Nigerian companies, or commodity market, or people that bring in money into the Nigerian economy, and they are well captured by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And majorly they are dollar in nature. That means they are dollar. Get it? So, and they could also be in pounds, they could also be in euros. But majorly we put all of them together as in dollar form, because dollar is international currency that anybody can bring to any country, come and do business. So it is in dollar form. So these are foreign inflow. So that's what you can see. So it goes a long way to show how resilient, how interesting, how attractive the country's economy is. But to tell ourselves the truth, the inflow that we have received so much in terms of capital inflow that we normally call it, are majorly money that comes to government as a means of people who buy government bond paper. You must have heard about bond paper.
Yes.
The bond paper that the debt management office normally offer. Currently, there's a 2-month bond paper savings bond that is being sold right now, at least 1,000 naira per coupon, and a minimum of 5,000 naira. So these are that kind of money that comes into the Nigerian economy. There could also be loans, and it could also be grants. These are things that become foreign inflow that we are talking about. So it is increased to 52%, has been recorded, in the last 1 year, that in 2024. It shows that the Nigerian economy has received such money into that sector of the economy. It may not generally enter the entire general economy of Nigeria, but it has entered a sector and a subsector of Nigerian economy, and that's what we have recorded so far.
A sector and a subsector. What would that sector be?
Now, I pointed out that it has come into the sector of the economy. The sector that particular form of money come into, like the sector that deals with fixed income, talking about shares, talk about treasury bills, talk about bonds paper of the government, and talk about people that went to the capital market to go and invest money. So that's a sector. Then the subsector also goes. The subsector are the other category of area of investment that someone wants to put money. For instance, somebody can come to Nigeria and say he's putting his money in a bond paper. That is a subsector of the entire financial sector of Nigeria. Then somebody can say he's putting his money in treasury paper. That's also another subsector. Somebody can say he's putting his money in the stock market. And in the stock market, there are about 3 categories of them. There are commodity market. There is also what they call the equity market, that is shares. There's also what they call the bonds paper, whereby private companies also sell bonds. That one. Then it could also be somebody come and buy or come into the money market. The money market is where the CBN control how some banks, the fund they have is controlled by CBN, and that aspect of the fund that they have, their CBN control. They call it OMO, open money market. So CBN use an instrument to control the flow of money in that way. I don't want to be too technical. I just want our listeners to understand when we talk about foreign inflow. It goes into a particular sector and subsector of the economy. It will not entirely go into the entire Nigerian economy as people may think. As I pointed out, it comes to a particular sector. That particular sector of the Nigerian economy is financial sector, and the subsector under the financial sector talk about bond paper, treasury paper, stock market, and other aspects of where you can quickly get a derivative of whatever you invest in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year, and thereby. Those are the areas that are kind of foreign inflow.
All right, so let me ask: is there a connection between the rebasing of the economy with this, 53% foreign inflow?
I think it's quite different, because the record we are doing right now is what really happened between January of 2024 to December of 2024 and early 2025. So it has nothing to do with the rebasing. As we speak right now, the rebasing is still ongoing, and let us quickly educate ourselves. The rebasing has it is theoretical. It is also very academic in nature. But it has an influence on prospective investors who want to come and invest in Nigeria to look at. When we say you rebase the economy, we're only trying to show up the figure based on the calculation of what you feel that you have. For instance, there are 10,000 manufacturing companies in Nigeria, and all of them are producing 100 million goods every year. So you rebase it on that and calculate it to your GDP, and that's what they are trying to do. So, but it doesn't have any connection with the inflow, because the inflow they are talking about is what happened in 2024, not what had happened because 2025 is still very young, just 7 months, and we have not even completed first quarter of 2025. So it's still a little bit too young to say, okay, rebasing. No, rebasing has not really it doesn't have any connection for it.
Right.
It may have connection with it in future, maybe in 6 months time, in 9 months time. But as we speak right now, rebasing has nothing to do with what we are talking about in terms of 52% increase of foreign inflow.
All right. Well, there are some, thoughts that come from the place of the economic factors and social factors that have somewhat, or so to speak, contributed to the 53% foreign inflows. Could you help us, make sense of some of the economic factors that might have contributed, to this rise in foreign inflows, and how is it impacting the Nigeria economy, especially looking at it from the economic factors as well as the social factors that have also informed this rise in foreign inflows?
There are 3 major factors we can put out, then we label other sub factors on it. Number 1 policy that made this inflow to be so successful is the political stability that Nigerians have enjoyed since 1999 and corresponding to the 2020 election that went, even though not satisfactory to so many people, but at least we have enjoyed relatively political stability. Mm-hmm. Because let me really establish this. When we talk about foreign investors or foreign inflow, one of the critical things we normally look at is how stable is that country politically. And nobody can argue it. Nigeria has been stable politically. We have not had any intervention in 1999. Nobody has toppled any government. The democratic process has been going smoothly, even though not satisfactory, but we have been having change of power, change of government as expected every couple of years. And that factor alone can attract any investors anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. That's number one. The number two factor is the outflow of profit and gains. In 2019, 2020 precisely, after the COVID-19 era, there has been a very robust performance of financial sector of Nigeria. The Nigerian financial sector, I'm talking about the banking, the insurance, merchant, it has been performing very, very well. The Nigerian financial sector has been one of the top most in Africa. And one of them, the sub-sector of that financial sector, particularly the stock market, our capital market, has been very, very outstanding in terms of its performance. Just in 2024 alone, it ended up being the topmost capital market in Africa with 37.46% in terms of improvement and perfection, generating over 47 trillion naira in the whole of 2024. So these are the things that normally attract. One is political stability. Second is the gains, the profit that whoever comes to the economy to come and invest in our financial sector, what they will gain. Then the third aspect is the regulatory administration. The regulation has been very, very smooth. Nigerian financial sector has been under the marshal of very, very prompt and progressive regulation. Mm-hmm. You can't compare to any other African country apart from South Africa, Egypt, and Kenya. They also have a very robust regulatory framework. Nigeria also has a very robust regulatory framework that allow the financial sector to enjoy what it is today. Then the last thing I will also say is that Nigerian financial sector has also been very, very digitalized. The entire spectrum of Nigerian financial sector is digitalized. You can't compare to any other country apart from South Africa, Egypt, Kenya, who also digitalized their financial sector. That alone has helped the sector and the subsector to be very, very attractive to anybody across the world, and also make the foreign inflow to be very, very robust, and they are coming. So, three things, but with one addition: political stability, talking about regulatory framework, and talking about the profit, the gains that they will make. Then the last thing is the digitalization of the entire sector that made it so attractive. But you can also understand that the entire financial sector in Nigeria, because of the digitalization, you can be anywhere in the world and carry out your transaction, and you gain your money. Your money is secure, everything is secure. So we must also point out that it has a city. And when you talk about where is the financial sector of Nigeria, it is in Lagos.
Okay.
So that is just it.
Right. Well, anyways, we're still looking at the rise in foreign inflow that has also gotten to 53% right there. You want to add your voice, to the discourse this morning, you can as well. Just stick to the number 0907 353 0044. 0907 353 0044, or get onto the WhatsApp portal and send us just a WhatsApp message or even a WhatsApp voice note, and we will take these in the course of the discourse this morning. And yes, once again, foreign inflows rising by 53%. Now it takes us back to the place of looking into the angles where the rise in foreign, inflows has led, to a significant impact on the Nigerian economy. Quite a number of persons believe it is creating jobs and it is driving the economic growth. However, it has also created challenges such as corruption, insecurity, and regulatory bottlenecks, right? Regulatory bottlenecks. And the Nigerian government has been charged to continue to work to addressing some of these challenges and creating a favorable business environment to attract more foreign investment. Now, one question beckons to ask: what are the implications of the rise in foreign inflows, and how can the Nigerian government ensure that foreign investment is sustainable and beneficial to the local economy? All right, that's what Nigerians would love to know this morning.
I think very, very critically, I will have to say this. This category of investment, you don't look for long-term investment. They look for short-term to medium-term investment. They are looking for 3 months, 6 months, highest 1 year. They are up. You must understand foreign flow the kind of foreign flow we are talking about. In terms of foreign flow, maybe I didn't mention it. There are 2 categories of it. We have FPI, then we have FDI. FPI, foreign portfolio investors. FPI,
okay.
Foreign portfolio investors. And FGI, foreign direct investment.
All right, Sir Defalari, sorry to botch you at this point in time. Let's just go on a recess. We will be right back, and then you explain this to, categories to us, in details, right? If that's okay. Right, so that's what it is. We'll get back with the discourse in a short bit. We go on a recess, pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Kai, oga, wannan injin naka ya gaji fa.
Amma ka san haka kuma ka bari na kashe kuɗi na?
Oga, ba laifi na bane. Ka san injin nan naka.
Kuma yanzu kake faɗa min haka?
To ai nayi na gyara injin nan, amma injin nan naka yaki.
Ku jira aka yi.
Ka san cewa injin motocinka da na janareto suna buƙatar mai kyau yadda ya kamata? Ita ce ta hanyar sayan mai inganci. Shi yasa matatar man Dangote ta tace muku man fetur zuwa RON, wato tsaftataccen mai wanda shine ingantaccen man fetur din da zaka iya dogaro ko amincewa da shi a dukkanin injinan ku. Lokaci yayi da za ku kula da injinan ku, sai man Dangote mai inganci.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just
20,000 naira?
Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur. Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. Hurry now.
Your number 1 radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
And yes, getting back with a discourse this morning as we look into the foreign inflows rising by 53%, the implications it would have on the Nigerian economy as well as on businesses. And some are beginning to think, would it create jobs? Would it allow for economic growth? But our guest, in the person of Mr. Adefalari Olamilekon, who's a political economist and communication expert and consultant, is giving us some thoughts as to the understanding of what this foreign inflows, could be, which he believes is hinged, on 2 categories, right? Sir Adefalari.
All right,
yeah.
So let's go. Now, FPI are foreign portfolio investors. These FPI are usually the ones that invest in the financial sector, talking about the bond papers, Nigerian treasury bills that CBN normally sells, as well as the stock market, capital market that people go to go and invest in shares of companies, bonds of companies, commercial papers of banks, and the rest of them. So this is where the FPI guys go to. Now, FDI are people that will come and start a business. They will concretely build factories. They will concretely build, investment of like banks. They'll be agri. They will invest their money in concrete things that you can see. That before they can reap that money, it will take them like 2-3 years. For FPI, on the other hand, they are looking for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, highest 1 year. And that's how it works. For instance, the bond paper the federal government is selling now, it is in categories. Some are in 5 years, tenure, some are in 3 years tenure, some are in 2 years tenure, some are in 1 year tenure, some are in 6 months, some are in 3 months. And these are the kind of things that these guys go and put their money. But they will not put their money in those ones that have long years of investment. If you remember, federal government auction what they call a dollar bond, domestic dollar bonds in late September to October this 2024. If you remember, it was a $500 billion dollar bond. And on top of that particular $500 billion, they have to be paid 10 about 12% to 15% or thereabout on each bond that you buy. That one is about 3-4 years. See, that kind of bond, every year government will be paying your return. These are the kind of money that FPI will put their money. These are the kind of foreign flow that we are talking about. But the ones that Nigerians can easily, functionally benefit for, where it will generate a sustainable employment, not a seasonal employment. Because when someone talks about foreign flow, we bring about employment, I quickly have to point it out and see what can the kind of employment that will bring is seasonal. It will just be up and on kind of employment, not sustainable one. But FDI will bring sustainable employment that people can collect pension, people can collect other things that make them other welfare packages. But foreign portfolio investment through FDI will not bring that. It will just bring some percentage. Everybody will be sharing percentage.
So why,
percentage of one percentage.
Why do you think that there is some sort of deterrent, or deterrence, in getting with the FDI, and rather there's so much surge with the FPI?
The FDI issue is based on the general health of Nigerian economy and security.
Right.
When I was discussing about the foreign flow, I said Lagos remains the center of our financial sector. Lagos is relatively peaceful. There is no insurgence, there is no terrorism, apart from maybe skirmishes of armed robber, and armed robber doesn't affect those kind of people that come to invest their money.
Okay.
As I like to do, it is digitalized. They can be in their country and invest their money in a financial sector, and you even know them. They are also what they call the blind trust investment. A big man can be in UK, they send $10 million to an agent here in Nigeria, and the person who invests his money there, when the profit comes, will be sending the profit in the twinkling to the owner of that money. That's how it is done. So, because of the general health of our economy and security, FDI is now gaining momentum in Nigeria. Even though the areas like the southwest of Nigeria that is relatively peaceful, some FDI people are still very skeptical about the environment, so that's why they are not here. But generally, insecurity has prevented most of the FDI from investing in northern part of the country, including Abuja. Even though Abuja is relatively peaceful, FDI are still very scared of terrorism and bandits and the rest of it. So general insecurity has caused FDI not to be stable in Nigeria. Then another issue has to do with the technical devaluation of our currency. If an FDI comes to Nigeria to invest $10 million, when he's going back, he's expected to take about $12 million with him. But because of the technical devaluation of the currency, if someone comes to invest $10 million, and when he's going back with $7 million. What do you think? How will it feel? You will feel bad. Take for instance the issue around the telecom sector, why they are increasing their tariff. Because they discovered they have invested so much, but they are reaching so low because of technical devaluation of the currency. That's one. They also insecurity has also affected them. Then imagine somebody that come and build the factory. All of a sudden, the factory is producing, he has invested money, is not gaining. Meanwhile, one day, because of hoodlums, bandits, they come and kidnap his staff. Out of he has to pay ransom. He still paying ransom for those staff that have been. So all those issues affected FDI, and FDI is concrete. FDI is what will give the reliable employment that we are looking for, not FDI. FDI will only bring seasonal employment that will end up giving out what they call percentage, whereby someone who helps you to handle that deal will collect a particular percentage, other person collect a particular percentage will just be share here and there, and that is just it.
All right.
It doesn't count on that.
So in other words, you're saying that this 53%, rise would not affect, the lives of Nigerians directly. Is that what you're saying? Or it's not something to jubilate? It's not something to jubilate.
It has a category of people that it will affect. Beyond the people in the financial sector, the layer structure of the financial sector in Nigeria. When you talk about the financial sector in Nigeria, we're talking about the central bank is number one, then followed by the bankers committee, the owners of banks in Nigeria, then followed by the stakeholders in Nigerian stock market, capital market, and the rest of them. They're followed by expert agents that are working in the financial sector. These are people that benefit from FPI money coming to the Nigerian economy. Then the government, then because that money is static in a particular sector and a subsector, it doesn't flow out. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't
I get that.
flow out. So, on the other hand, for instance, let's say manufacturing companies in Nigeria, they want to raise their capital share and they begin to sell shares in the process of expanding their business. And when they expand, they employ. We can talk of that. But how many companies are selling shares apart from banks that are recapitalizing? How many people are even buying all the shares of this company? Who already know how it works.
And even the
and that's why we've been encouraging people to buy, local investors to invest in Nigerian shares, company shares across.
Right. Even the existing, industries or companies are beginning to fold up under the heat of the economic reality. But anyways, we'll just open the phone lines now, get to hear from family members. You want to be a part of this one? What would it be for you? What would be your thoughts? How do we indeed take ourselves out of this quagmire that we find ourselves? And how do we indeed speak truth to power, as we are doing already, such that we inform those who are the helms of decision making for the economy of our dear country Nigeria, to find out ways to better the lot of our people and the country? Well, the number is 0907 353 0044. Once again, 0907 353 0044. And the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. Send us a WhatsApp message as well as a voice note, and we will herald your thoughts. You can join the conversation across social media platforms underneath the television that we are hosting across social media platforms, precisely YouTube and Facebook at Eagles FM Abuja. Get onto the comment section and let us into your thoughts. We're still with Mr. Adefolari Olamilekon, who is a political economist right there, and we're looking into the flow, the rise in our inflow as it stands for the economy. But Sir Adefolari, I would like for us to look at this discourse again from another aspect. I mean, there is a numerical analysis of the rise in foreign inflows, and it is showing that the country has experienced a significant increase in foreign investment, with a total of $2.6 billion in the second quarter of 2024. Now, the capital importation profile in 2024 of quarter two was largely driven by foreign portfolio investments, that's the FPI, which accounted for 41% of the overall investment inflows and 77% of the total FPI inflows. However, though, all components of foreign investments declined in the quarter, with foreign direct investment FDI recording the most significant drop. But what then are the numerical implications of the rise in foreign inflows? And how can the Nigerian government use data to inform its policies and attract more foreign investments?
That we are dealing with data, we are dealing with investors look at data to know where to really have a very shared and very informed decision making when it comes to where they are taking their money to. So for Nigeria, it has been very blessing that foreign flow has really helped us to attract FDI, because not FDI, as rightly pointed out in your narrative. FDI dropped, foreign direct investment dropped, for foreign portfolio investment increased, which shows because of the stability in our politics, the regulatory framework is working very smoothly, and there's conducive environment for investors to recoup and gain their money as expected. And there's something we need to quickly know about the FPI. You know that interest rates that CBN normally takes up.
Yes, the MPR. Yeah.
FPI into Nigerian economy.
It does what?
Are you with me?
Yes, the MPR.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. You said the MPR.
Hello?
Okay. That's a network.
Hello?
Can you hear us? All right. Well, Sir Adefolari, we'll get back with you. But you want to put your calls through now. You want to give us your thoughts. I saw you trying to get through to us, but it was very necessary to allow the guest land his thoughts so that we don't run short of proper understanding of the discourse. Well, now will be the time to get your voice heard now. 0907-353-0044. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, please.
Okay, good morning.
Yeah. What's your name, please? Where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Usman, calling from Guarantown.
All right, Usman, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
Yeah. You see, first of all, let me appreciate your guest that at least enlightening us and educating us on certain issues. But what I will say here is that I think, for instance, the government in general, or those are advisors, ministers, and what have you, we are like this gentleman that spoke. I think many things would have been put in place. Because at times there are certain policies that may, for instance, if you don't know the way of life of the people, of the average Nigerian, you just initiate a policy that will affect them, not knowing this and this is what they need at the moment that will strike their life. Or let me say, when you look at the issue of per capita income of an average Nigerian, you see it's not something to write home about. But considering the high inflation that is bedeviling Nigerians, you see we have a lot out of which, for instance, your speaker is in this, let me say, is in this cabinet. I think he has so many things to offer that will at least alleviate, or let me say, will salvage Nigerians as a whole with regard to economic policies and what have you, so that we can be able to at least have a train to come and sleep with their eyes closed. I really appreciate you. We need such people, because at times those that are supposed to talk to government, for government to hear. But even the let me say, the conventional communication platforms like these radio, at times they did not take such issues serious. Those that were in government, they saw it as kind of criticisms or this and that. But at times you have to listen to more criticisms. That is when, if you really mean well to the people, you have to listen to more criticism, because there are so many things in that criticism that you need to adopt so that you can be able to Thank you.
I appreciate that one from you, Usman. Usman right there giving his thoughts and saying that, well, it seems as though for us to salvage the situation right now, there's a need for us for the Nigerian government to be very intentional and also make conscious efforts towards reorganizing the economy, making policies that would indeed look out for the average Nigerian, average entrepreneur, in the country. But we're back with our guest, Mr. Defalari. Are you there?
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity.
Right. So Usman, all the way from Gwarimpa, is saying that, look, policies must be reworked, conscious efforts must be made to curb the high inflation rate in the country, and, of course, creating an enabling environment for entrepreneurs who are indeed indigenous entrepreneurs now to thrive would indeed create a robust environment such that would improve on the FDI indeed, and the well-being, of course, of each and every one of us. What do you say? I mean, you were going to talk to us about the relatedness of the MPR, as it affects. Yes.
I think Usman was right. I think this was the Nigerian aspect, but to tell ourselves the truth, government across the world, sincerely, government across the world believe that when they are making a policy, it is for generality of the entire welfare of the people. But it has been discovered that this is fallacy, because most of the time when those policies have come, they are elitist in nature. Nigeria is a case in point. Most of our economic policies are elitist in nature. Like the foreign inflow that we're talking about, most of the gains are for elites. Most of the activities there are for elites. How many ordinary Nigerians can go and participate in the stock market and whatever that you think? There is not there. It's an elitist nature, and that's why I pinpoint that it is percentage. All of them goes home with, because somebody can sit in the comfort of his bedroom, sitting room, and will be an investor in the stock market, in the capital market, and will be making gains. That's it. then I was trying to pinpoint that one of the things that normally attract investors into the Nigerian economy, particularly FPI, is the interest rate. Interest rate gains at all these kind of financial sector and sub-sector level, because interest rate attracts investors to invest their money in choice areas like fixed income, like bonds, like treasury papers, and the rest of them. Because, for instance, on the bond paper that the federal government is giving out is around 19% per coupon. CBN own is about between 15 to 23% per coupon. Imagine you having 23% interest on each coupon that you're buying at the rate of 1,000, that you buy 5,000. That means by the time you end up calculating your gains, you'll be gaining almost like 6,000, 15 on each of the 5,000. For 5,000, you'll be gaining like 15 or 900 naira. You'll be investing your money that you just sit down somewhere and those gains will be coming. And those are the things that attract FPI into the country. So you must tell ourselves the truth. Interest rate also make it buoyant, more robust for people to invest in the financial sector, particularly the fixed income area, the commercial papers area, the treasury bills, the bonds aspect of the Nigerian economy. And that's why it is. It's not just Nigerian, it's all over the world. Even in the US, as we speak right now, the federal government bonds of US federal government bonds, the interest rate is between 3 to 6%. But people are very, very interested in investing their money in such area. And that's why it is all over the world. So generally, the world over, both governance economic policy is tilted towards elitists in nature, not for the poor people that most of us normally fight for or call for, because they know that at the end of the day, it's like a weaponized policy.
So how do we change that narrative? That's the point. And if it's about the elitist, is there really a point of government, taking over the affairs or making the decisions for a people? Don't you see a disjoint in the process? If every time we say the power is in the people and it's politics we address, and yet the people seemingly are used, as a means to an end, and when they're supposed to be the dividends, the people are seemingly ostracized or removed from the equation, and then it becomes an elitist, conversation.
Can I? It's just that we are not on TV or where I can demonstrate how economic policy of government work the world across the world. See, when government makes policy, government policy is like standing on a pyramid, on a mountain. Let me say a mountain.
Yeah.
You know the way the rain falls. The people who stand on the mountain are the first to receive the rainfall.
Oh, yes.
Now the rest people who are down bottom of the mountains get the flow of the rain and it touch them. That is how a government policy is, and that's what they believe. When government make a policy, they believe that the moment it touch the elite, then it will trickle down to the middle class. Then it will trickle down to it will first trickle down to the upper middle class, then not trickle down to the middle class, then not trickle down to the average people, then before not trickle down to the poor of the poor, then to the poorest of the poor. That's how they believe. And how does it work? Take for instance, if Nigerian government is building, like now they are building 250 units of houses across the city. That's what federal government is doing. Now, who do you think will be benefiting from this construction site? Carpenter, mercy, labourer, supplier of sand, supplier of cement, electrician. You get it now. Now, a contractor has been giving money to build a 3-bedroom flat with 30 million naira. They will take only that, you do that because they will start paying those guys labourer money. Then that's how it is. That's how government pays for. So, at a time, the bunch of the property will stop or will stock with the elite. It will slow down. And that's how we normally have challenges. So we must understand government policy from that reality of sense that when they make a particular policy, it first impact them, then it now trickle down. If it trickle down, that is the end.
Is there any other way around this where these policies can, whilst it comes from the top, there could also be a generator from under that is also generating and sending even, to trying to meet up with the top, giving us that mountain, picture. Is there any other way around this?
That can only happen when the policy comes down to the bottom, to be made at the bottom and implemented at the bottom. But when it is made at the top and implemented at the top, it will only trickle down to the bottom. But when it is made at the bottom and implemented at the bottom, it will stray around.
Okay.
But it will be very, very difficult. It will be very difficult to do that.
All right,
because
so, yeah.
the society, the world that we live in, is grouped and is grouped in this skewed inequality of a thing. You can't fight it. Even in the US, it happens. In developed countries, it happens.
Okay.
That's why they will tell you that you are not created equally, and you ask why.
All right. I see that now. Thank you, Defilari, for adding your voice in this discourse this morning. We appreciate your thoughts. What will be like your final lines, in this, especially when we are looking at the FPI and the FDIs, and what should be the way forward as to future plans?
I think what I would expect the government as an economist is let us balance both sides. If FPI is 52, now let's also make sure that this year FDI also improves, because it's the FDI that is the main motivator, the main booster of the economy that ordinary Nigerians can feel the impact, not FDI alone.
Right.
FDI is good on its own, but FDI is better and much more robust to impact the Nigerian economy. And the GDP we are talking about, it is the FDI that will help us to get that, not FDI particularly.
All right. So, Defilari, thank you. You are a political economist, a communication expert and consultant, lead research and policy analyst. You have always come through and, given us an expose in this financial, records and implication on Nigeria and Nigerians. We look forward to having more conversation with you in the coming days.
All right, thank you so much. I said that, and thank you for the opportunity you given.
Right.
And to all our listeners, thank you.
That's right. All right, that will be all. And to you, Usman, for also calling from Gwarimpa, we appreciate you. And to each and every one of us who also took out time to listen, I'm sure you got some education now and proper understanding. Well, then, this is how we call it a close. Business news will be coming up in a short bit. Don't go away.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
This